Will she be a series regular for season 5?
Now look, if she tell us that,
Let me just tell you right now.
we're like
yeah, I
all
can't.
Ellen status if you tell us
Are you
that.
gonna
Pass.
make Comic-Con this summer?
I want to go so
You're
badly.
totally going
I
to
haven't
go.
been told if I'll be going, but I would love to go. I've been many times before. And
Oh,
I
really?
would-
For other-
For I think mostly just for Black Sails. 'Cause definitely being on Flash is a lot of pressure just because it's been on for so many seasons
Yeah.
already. So I think more of that was like fitting into the world. I wanted to feel like I fit in and
Right.
kind of be accepted by the fans. There definitely was that, but not on the same level as like.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. This is going to be my video all about Flash finale as well as the Arrow Tommy episode. I'll talk about Flash first just because of all the Coffee Girl stuff. Obviously the actress Jessica Parker Kennedy just did a recent interview, so I included a couple clips from that. There's a little bit more that I'll include later in the video too. But if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're getting ready for a couple big finales. There's a Flash ring giveaway that's going on. All you have to do to enter that, just be a subscriber, leave a DC related comment on the video. So the cool thing about the finale is they released the synopsis. They confirmed the title is We Are the Flash. We actually heard about that a long time ago, that's what the finale would be called, but this is them just confirming that. It says Team Flash gets an unexpected ally in their fight against DeVoe, meaning that Marlize, who recently left DeVoe, is probably going to help them out, but also Coffee Girl is going to tee up their Season 5 arc. So they'll get help from Marlize in defeating DeVoe, they'll also get some help from Coffee Girl that'll have something to do binding the mystery Speed Force symbols that Barry was writing at the beginning of this season that also show up in DeVoe's book on his blackboard in the ones that Coffee Girl is writing brand new. The producers also said that there will be 2 big teasers for next season in the finale. One will be Coffee Girl herself, just like revealing who she is and how she's important to the Season 5 plot, but also who the big villain of Season 5 is going to be, implying that it's not going to be Coffee Girl, which I feel like is confirmation that she's not going to be some mystery version of the Reverse Flash wearing someone else's face. So if you were one of those people who was backing that theory, I feel like that's a big strike against that. So whoever the villain is going to be someone completely different. But because people have been asking me this after they released that description, who do you think the villain's going to be? I'm going to wait till we actually get a couple more episodes before saying who I think it could be. Like, these are the top 5 people that it could possibly be. Because there are a couple obvious picks for characters from the future, implying that Coffee Girl is going to have some tie to whoever the villain is, and she's from the future. It means the villain is also probably somewhere from the future. There are a couple big characters the Flash TV show has not done yet that they could cherry pick for that villain, but like the TV show changes things, I think it'll be an amalgam of a couple different comic book characters and ideas. So that's why I'm going to wait a couple more episodes before I list my picks for Season 5 villain. But they made it sound like the teaser that they'll give us in the finale will be pretty obvious, so it should narrow it down pretty quickly once we get that episode. But the other cool thing about this is that Jessica Parker Kennedy, the actress, was asked in her little Q&A, will you be a Season 5 regular? And obviously she couldn't answer that even if she knew, but she also answers a question about Comic-Con that makes me feel like, oh yeah, she's definitely coming back next season, because she also says, they haven't told me whether or not I'm coming to Comic-Con. I really hope that I get to go because I like doing that kind of stuff, implying that she will be coming back, and if she's going to be a big part of Season 5 in some way, then they would want to bring her to Comic-Con, and she's just not sure what the Comic-Con plans are, because a lot of networks wait till the last minute to announce what those are. But think about it this way, if they're going to come to Comic-Con and hype up Season 5, if she was one of the biggest talking points of Season 4, they would be making a huge mistake in not bringing her along too. She just feels like an early fan favorite walking away from Season 4. Like, what did you like most? Oh, I love the idea about Coffee Girl. I mean, a lot of that will depend on the way they stick that landing. Like, there's still a couple of left turns that they could take with that. So hopefully everything goes well with the last couple of episodes, and everyone's at least a little bit satisfied with the reality of who she winds up being. But as we get more footage, we'll be able to narrow the theories down, so I feel like going into the finale, we'll have a pretty solid idea of who she is. Like, we pretty much knew going into the last episode of Season 2 of The Flash that Jay Garrick was going to be the reveal underneath the Iron Mask. So just think about it in those terms. They actually tease stuff pretty openly going into the finale, so we'll just get some more evidence in the next couple of episodes. We'll see how it goes down. But here's the thing about the season 5 plot for Flash. Once we find out who she is absolutely, and once we know who the villain is, or at least have a good idea of who the villain is, then it'll be a lot easier to predict about what their season 5 arc is going to be, based on the comic book history of those characters, as well as the history of how the show treats those comic book storylines. Like they did the Thinker this season, but they changed a lot about it. You use that as a template to treat how they do other comic book stories. But moving into Arrow territory, so Arrow is a week ahead, so that means their finale is going to air the week before the Flash's finale, but they had a big Tommy episode. We finally found out how they brought him back, and it turned out to be Human Target pretending to be Tommy.
Quiet! Quiet or I'll clear the courtroom!
Please state your name for the record.
Thomas Merlin. Tommy's fine if you want.
So it was Colin Donnell coming back for this scene here, pretending to be Human Target, pretending to be Earth 1 Tommy. So his performance, like if you went back and watched an Arrow Season 1 episode with Tommy in it, his Tommy would feel a little bit different because it's supposed to be Human Target pretending to be Tommy. It was a really fun idea. I mean, it was a trial episode. It was very much like the trial of the Flash, and it kind of played out the same way too, with the big twist at the end, where they wheel someone in pretending to be someone else that gives them evidence that lets them off. They also just announced that Paul Blackthorne is leaving the show at the end of this season, implying that he might wind up being a casualty of the finale. Because usually finales either kill a character or there's some big emotional turn. It feels like they're going to use Quentin this season for that on Arrow, and it'll have something to do with Black Siren's redemption arc, because all through the back half of the season, he's had these scenes with her where he says, you need to stand up for yourself, be your own person, even though they acknowledge that she's not his version of Laurel. They kind of treat her that way. The fact that she openly defied Diaz and protected Oliver and then tried to go take down Diaz before he could retaliate against her makes it seem like she's definitely going to be an ally to Team Arrow during Season 7. I don't think there's any chance they kill her in the finale. I think that Quentin's probably going to be the one to die. He's probably the person in the hospital bed in the picture that Stephen Amell posted from the finale a while ago. We all thought that it was someone else, but now it might wind up being Quentin in that hospital bed. But the other really important thing that they did in this trial episode is that they spent a couple of different scenes clearing Roy's name. Remember, he took the fall for Oliver and said that he was the Hood so that Oliver wouldn't go to prison, then skipped town, so he's been a fugitive from justice this whole time. So because he's going to be a series regular next season, he'll be coming back to Team Arrow. They had to find a way for him to be able to walk around in broad daylight without being arrested on sight. So Oliver had a scene when he was on the stand saying that Roy took the fall for the Hood. Roy is not really the Hood, so he should be exonerated of that. Then separately, when fake Tommy dropped in, he also said the same thing.
Roy Harper confessed to being the Hood.
To protect me. And then he was attacked in prison. I have lived with that guilt for 3 years.
So if it wasn't clear, Tommy is still dead on Earth 1. This is Christopher Chance, aka Human Target, pretending to be Tommy, who also then later pretended to be the judge when he overturned the jury's ruling. So the next 2 episodes on Arrow is the war between Diaz, like declaring war openly against Team Arrow, going after all their families and everyone, and then resolving that in the finale. 2 more episodes of Arrow, so it's going to be done in a couple weeks. But leave all your questions in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch more Coffee Girl teasers for The Flash, and we'll find out a little bit more about Arrow Season 7 as we get closer to the finale. There'll be a whole bunch more Marvel posting tomorrow. I will name a new giveaway winner when I post new DC. Click here for my Flash episode from this week, and click here for that brand new Deadpool trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.